The first thing I want you to do is check your calculator and get out of rounding mode, because yesterday we were in rounding mode. So go to mode, highlight float, and hit enter. So float should be black, yes? All right, and then get out of that screen. Today we're going to learn what is called scientific notation. Now, you guys know that there's different forms of numbers, yes? Y'all know that there's decimal form? Yes or no? What else is there? Fractions. What else? What else? Percents. Yes? So we know decimals, fractions, or percents. Today we're going to learn a new way to write a number. It's just another form. It is called scientific notation, and it's called this because scientists came up with this. The reason they came up with this is to deal with really, really big or really, really little numbers. So imagine the distance from the Earth to the moon. Really, really what? Really, really big, yes? So this is a long, long number. And scientists said, I don't want to write this long number. Is there a way we could write this shorter, but it would have the same value? So y'all know 1/4 is the same as 25 cents, yes? 1/2 is the same as? What's a half the same as? 50 cents. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to take a number and we're going to write it a different way, but we're not going to change the value. Just like if I write 1/2, it has the same value as 50 cents. So we're not going to change the value. All right, y'all want to see how easy this is? Everybody sitting up and paying attention? To go from standard means normal, to scientific, you're going to go where in your calculator? It's that simple. You're going to go to mode. Now, does everybody see normal and then SCI? Normal means my answers will be given to me normal. SCI means I want you to give these answers to me in scientific form. So tab over to SCI and hit enter. Now go back to your home screen by hitting second quit or second mode. Now we all know what is 5 plus 5. Tell me out loud. Now put 5 plus 5 in your calculator and hit enter. It did not give it to you as 10, did it? Why did it do this? Because we changed our mode to what? So every answer it spits out is going to be in this form of scientific. So it's going to do all the work for you. Make sense? All right. To go from scientific back to normal, then we need to turn our mode back to what? Normal. So, and we'll work on that in a second. Now, this is just a picture of the mode thing, and there's normal highlighted, so just put that on there in case you need to see it. When your calculator gives you the answer, it's going to look like this. It says times 10 will go after the number. Your calculator will give you something like this. So everybody look right here, 5.23E6. We wouldn't write it like that. We're going to write it 5.23, and instead of writing E, we're going to write times 10, and that E means with an exponent of 6. Make sense? If it doesn't, it will in just a second, I promise. Okay? So let's go do some examples. They want you to change the number to scientific notation. So what mode would I be in if I want to go from normal to scientific? SCI, and we're already there. So all you're going to do is type this number in, but do not put commas. Your calculator doesn't want them. Okay, so everybody type in 342, with 6 zeros, no commas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you type it in correctly or you won't get the right answer. Hit enter. You're almost done. It did it for you. So I want you real small to write what the calculator gave you. 3.42E8. You will not write your answer like that. That is the way the calculator gives you your answer. So you will not write your answer like this. You will write 3.42. Instead of writing E, what am I going to write? Times 10 with an exponent of 8. That's your answer. That's how easy it is. So scientific notation, the scientists realized they could use powers of 10 to rewrite numbers. And the exponent tells you how many times to move the decimal. So just so y'all know, y'all look at the board real quick. I would move, if I want to go back from this to this number, I would move the decimal 8 places to the right. So look at the decimal right here. I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it would give me that number. This number does not mean add 8 zeros. Did y'all hear what it does not mean? It does not mean add 8 zeros. It means move the decimal 8 times. Make sense? All right, now try this one. Put this one in your calculator. Now you must put decimals in, just not commas. So 0 decimal, and then I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and then 5, 3. Hit enter. My calculator gave me 5.3e negative 5. But how will I write that? 5.3, instead of e, what do I put? Times 10 with an exponent of negative 5. And that's my answer. Now look at these two answers. Why does this one have a positive exponent and this one have a negative exponent? Do y'all see the difference between the two numbers? This is a really, really big number, and this is a what? Really, really small number. This might be like the weight of a feather. If I weigh a feather, it's not going to weigh very much, right? So this might be the weight of the feather. This might be the distance from here to, I don't know, across the world. I really don't know. But it's big. Okay? So when it's a really, really big number, the exponent will be positive. When it's a really, really small number, the exponent will be negative. Now, did this negative exponent mean that this number was negative? No, it just means that it was a really small number between 0 and 1. Make sense? Yes or no? All right, now we're going to go from scientific notation back to standard. And who remembers, what does standard actually mean? Normal. So what mode will you put your calculator in? Normal. So everybody go back to mode. And we don't want SCI anymore. We want normal, so we hit enter. All right, go out of that screen. This is the easy part. You're just simply going to type it in. So let's practice. Type in 2.6 times 10. And who remembers how to get that exponent of 3? Bianca. This right here, right? This little button below clear, look at my screen and make sure you see it, will push you up to the exponent. And you put in a 3, hit enter, and that's your answer, and you're done. 2,600. Could I add commas in here to look like this? Yes, and that might be an answer choice. So you need to make sure you know that both of those answers are the same thing. All right, let's do the next one. Let's do this one. So let's type in 6.1 times 10 exponent. And am I going to put in a minus 2 or a negative 2? Make sure you're hitting that negative 2. And my answer is 0.061. Is that the same thing as 061? Are these the same? Yes. They are the same. Now, let's try the next one and see if our calculator does it. Sometimes the calculator won't do it back to normal. So let's look at it. 4.6 times 10 with an exponent of -5. Did y'all's calculator put it back in normal, or did it give it to you back in scientific? I don't know why it does this sometimes. It usually doesn't do it when the exponent is a negative bigger exponent. So I'm going to teach you how to do it by hand, and it's super easy, so don't worry. Okay? If it ever doesn't work, all you're going to do is move, write this down, move the decimal. You're going to move it the number that the exponent is. So how many times am I going to move this decimal? 5 times. If it's a positive exponent, I'm going to move the decimal to the right. If it's negative, I'm going to move it to the left. If it's a negative exponent, I'm going to move the decimal to the left. So all this is counting. So if you can count, you'll be fine. Y'all will also learn this in your science class, and you'll already know how to do it. Okay? So here's my decimal. Does everybody see it? I'm going to take this and move it how many places? So I take 4.6, and I hold my pencil on the decimal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little basket around the 4, and that means I moved it 1 time. But I need 5 baskets because that exponent is a 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to put my new decimal right there. So what do y'all think is going to go in these little baskets? Zeros. All right, so my new answer is decimal with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and then a 4 and a 6. Did this exponent mean to add 5 zeros? No. It means to move the decimal 5 times. Now, question. Could I put a 0 right here and it means the same thing? Yes. Do I have to? No. But these zeros better be there because they are holding a place value. Make sense? All right, what if I wanted to do this one by hand? Who can tell me how many times would I move the decimal? So I move decimal 10 times. Since it's a positive exponent, would I move it to the right or to the left? Right. Move right. Do you have to do this by hand? No. Only if the calculator doesn't give it to you. So I'm going to just see if it'll give it to me. 7.2 times 10 to the 10th power. Oh, it didn't give it to me. So do I have to do this one by hand? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take 7.2. How many times am I going to move that decimal? All right, here we go. Does it mean add 10 zeros? No. 1 little basket. 2, 3, 4. Make sure you count correctly. And what am I going to put in those little baskets? So my new answer took this decimal and moved it way over here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, it has 9 zeros. So I have a 7, 2, and 9 zeros. And if I want commas, I could put them. And here's my new decimal, but I don't even have to write it because it's a whole number. What do y'all think about scientific notation? Pretty easy? Okay, let's go over what we learned. If I want to go from Normal to scientific, what mode do I go to? SCI. Do I write the E as my answer? No. What do I write instead? Times 10, and the number after that is your exponent. Make sense? If I want to go from scientific back to normal, I change my mode to normal. Make sure it works. If it works, then I'm good to go. If it doesn't, then I have to go move that decimal. Make sense? All right, open your assignment. It is titled 2-1 in your Google Classroom. We'll go do a few together. There are 20 questions because the calculator does it for you. Let's do number 1 together. What does number 1 want you to do? Put it in normal or put it in scientific? So we're going to go to mode. SCI, enter. All right, I'm going to type in that number. Do I put the comma? No. So 52427, enter. There's your answer. So which answer says 5.2427 times 10 to the 4th power? Is it B or D? Why not D? No, D is to the 4th power, so why not D? You're right that it's B, but why not D? The decimal's in the wrong place. In scientific notation, do y'all see that on your paper? I mean on your computer? Look at D. It says 52 point. Do y'all see that? So the answer to number 1 is B, and that's all I expect you to put is B. You don't got to go show any work. Do I need to do any more with you? The first 10, I think, are in scientific, and the last 10, you're going back to normal. If you have any questions, raise your hand or come see me.